There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
That's Joe Biden lying, blatantly lying to the American people in the wake of the shocking revelations from the former CIA director. Even the legacy media is now admitting that Biden's White House is in full panic mode and may not survive. We're going to look at the latest on the real disinformation campaign in 2020, and we're going to see why at least one legacy media outlet is throwing Biden under the bus. As I'm sure many of you know by now, former acting CIA director Mike Morell admitted under oath that back in October 2020, the Biden campaign asked him to organize 50 colleagues to sign a letter making the false claim that the Hunter Biden laptop and its incriminating emails were nothing more than Russian disinformation. In a private sworn testimony told to the House Judiciary Committee, Morell revealed that it was actually Antony Blinken, who's now Secretary of State, but was then a senior official to the Biden campaign. Morell revealed that Blinken was the one who reached out to him on or around October 17th to basically fabricate the claim that this was Russian disinformation and organized dozens of former intelligence officials to claim it was a hoax. October 17th was just 3 days after the New York Post published an email from the laptop from hell, an email that, of course, revealed that Biden was indeed involved in Hunter's illicit business dealings. Morell admitted that he went along with it, in his words, quote, because I wanted Biden to win the election. Morell then admitted that over the next 2 days, he scrounged up 51 swamp creatures, 51 former intelligence officials, including himself and 4 other former CIA directors, including John Brennan and Leon Panetta, all of whom played along. And Morell further admitted to the House Judiciary Committee that the Biden campaign wanted the signed statement to go to a particular reporter at the Washington Post. You know, that paper with the daily virtue signaling motto, democracy dies in darkness. What utter woke projection. Ironically, the Biden campaign ended up taking the signed letter to Politico, which we affectionately refer to as Propagando, and they faithfully published the letter with the headline calling the laptop Russian disinformation. Now, we need to keep in mind here in the midst of all this that the FBI knew that this was all a lie. FBI officials had the laptop for months in their possession. And we, of course, now know that they launched a misinformation campaign of their own, directing social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter to suppress stories like the New York Post bombshell exclusive on the laptop, which, of course, they did dutifully. So you have at least a twofold corruption here. You've got a fraud perpetrated by the CIA, and you have a fraud perpetrated by the FBI, both perpetrated, at least when it came to the admission of Morell, to get rid of President Trump. Now, the New York Post, I think, said it best over the weekend. These frauds perpetrated by the CIA and FBI were, ironically, the actual disinfo operations. But the Post points out rightly that this could never have happened without a compliant legacy media. In fact, the author of the Propaganda piece that originally reported on Hunter's laptop being Russian disinformation was the ultra-leftist former MSNBC activist disguised as journalist Natasha Bertrand, who pushed all kinds of anti-Trump frauds like the fabricated Steele dossier, the Alpha Bank nonsense, and of course now the Hunter Biden laptop. So the deep state simply couldn't have gotten away with this if it weren't for not just a compliant media, but an all too eager propagator, disseminator of this misinformation. And yet again, ironically, this bombshell testimony appears to be rattling even the legacy media, because now it appears at least NBC may be throwing Biden under the bus. Wait till you see what they admitted this weekend. But first, gang, make sure to click on that link below and visit our good friends over at Home Title Lock. Gang, I got to admit, I was absolutely shocked when I was recently shown just how easy it is to access the deed to my house. And not just access it, but change it. If you don't know, the deed to our home is the only document that proves we own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now online. And so criminals are free to find your deed, forge your signature, refile as the new owner of your home, take out tons of loans using your home's equity, and then stick you with all the debt. And don't expect homeowners insurance to bail you out, because it doesn't. But that's where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're absolutely amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. Click on that link below right now. Use promo code TurleyTalks. Then all you got to do is enter your address for your no obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. That's $100 value, absolutely free with my promo code Turley Talks. Gang, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret that you didn't do something about it when you could have. Click on that link below right now and secure your home and your family today. NBC, of all places, is admitting that Biden is currently in a political freefall. In their latest poll, get this, they found that 70% of Americans don't want Biden to run again. Only 1 in 4 want to see a second term of Biden's. And things, frankly, just got worse.
Overall, the president's job rating is not in a good place when you're seeking re-election, sitting at just 41%, driven by the 58% of Americans who disapprove of how he is handling the economy right now. Just 30% of independents approve of the job Biden is doing overall.
So there you have it. He's down to 30% among independents. Nearly 60% disapprove of his handling of the economy. So even NBC is admitting that Biden's in dire straits when it comes to re-election. I mean, what do you say when 70% of the nation doesn't want you to be reelected? Again, all of this is happening at the same time that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is getting 14% of the support just days after he announced he was running for the Democrat presidential nomination. Now, keep in mind that represents at least 14% of Democrats who are totally opposed to the deep state narrative and all of its facets. Its Ukraine narrative, its COVID narrative, its vax narrative, its censorship narrative. And Kennedy's just getting started. So the relative success of his campaign is forcing Biden to have to announce his own candidacy earlier than he wanted to. And again, it's a candidacy that nobody wants. And the revelations of this former CIA director are only going to exacerbate the damage to Biden's brand. So we'll obviously keep an eye on how things develop here. But it does seem rather clear that the Biden White House is panicked, along with the legacy media. It does really seem like the bell is tolling for the establishment. We can only hope their end is coming real soon. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And you definitely want to check out my latest video on our massive victory with Bud Light. Their VP of marketing is gone. She's history. You're going to absolutely love this. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.